Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have another scrim for you today. Same teams as last time. Team Primal is going to be facing off against Team Amazin like Raisins. So let's go a quick run through the roster for this 1 minute. On Team Primal, we've got Orami as McCree, Gojiro playing Roadhog, Magunda playing Reinhardt, Raisins as Soldier 76, Lickitung as Farah, and Thrakon as Mercy. And opposing them is Team Amazin like Raisins, and I can't actually see what characters they're playing as because Spectate kind of assumes that you are on one of the two teams. So we'll be able to find out what characters they're playing as once the round starts, but for the time being their names are Pookie Bear, David, Ghostiyama, Ruckus, Eric, and Waterboarding, not Rinkus. So I can only really examine one set of team composition, but it looks like Team Primal is going for more of an offensive team due to having Farah and Soldier 76 and McCree, and also Roadhog, who is himself a very high damage tank. And without further ado, the map begins as Team Primal elects to split their team, go around the pub, and reconnect outside the gates. Good pick on the sentry. Raisins keeping his team alive. Team Primal is pushing in there. Team Amazin like Raisin is holding off around the control point, but I think for the most part, Team Primal's momentum is definitely winning, though. Very good pin and kill by Pookie Bear as Roadhog. But for the most part, I'd say that Team Primal appears to be pushing through the defense very well. Very quick ult. Wow. Thrakon is just really getting that ultimate extremely fast. Farah dealing with the flanker. Farah, again, is played by Lickitung. Doing a very good job of maintaining the high ground. And I'd say that Team Amazin like Raisins is holding off Team Primal's attack very well. Oh, and let's check out the team composition. Okay, a Roadhog, a Junkrat. Alright, pretty standard team. Look forward to seeing where Symmetra is set up her death turrets. Looks like it might have been in that little room, it was hard to tell. Junkrat was hiding in there. Roadhog, played again by Pookie Bear, is doing some serious work. Though we do have ult ready on Gojiro's Roadhog. Roadhog on Roadhog action. Alright, always good. Let's see this one. Yeah, very good. Manages to... Waterboarding as Medic is down, and Lickitung as Farah has managed to fell Reinhardt. So, very large holes have been opened up in Red Team's defense. But you can't go too far before hitting Symmetra's turrets. And looks like Amazin like Raisins has actually still held the point. Team Primal has not been able to get any lasting capture points. They've all decreased before the capture was complete. Junkrat beat McCree in a one-on-one.
Immer unterbricht mich jemand bei der Arbeit.
Yeah, David's Junkrat has been doing a very good job. I've been seeing those grenades everywhere. There's nothing more annoying than a Junkrat who can just keep those grenades out there, bothering you and preventing you from getting easy access to parts of the map. McCree getting some long-range damage done, getting his ult ready. Might be able to force Team Amazin like Raisins to pull back, or might be able to hold on to it for later. Let's see. Amazing. Rami had a 2-kill, but Mercy, played by Waterboarding, was able to completely negate it. Wow. Waterboarding's Mercy just brought an entire swathe of teammates back to life and immediately, just wiped Team Primal. So, as McCree says, back in the saddle again. It's They have not gotten very far. They're still taking the first point, so it's going to be very easy for them to respawn and try again. So all they lost was a little bit of time. Time is a valuable commodity at the moment. They have 1 minute and 11 seconds to capture this control point. They are going very high on the tanks. There's a Reinhardt and a Roadhog, both soaking up the damage that the squishier, high-damaging McCree and Farrah can push through. And Roadhog looks like he's going for the flank. Oh no! The enemy Roadhog was not having any of that. Oh dear. Oh wow, Magunda. Looks like both teams traded around 3 dead players, which.
They have a teleporter.
Oh, looks like they. Oh dear. Mercy once again brings her teammates back to life just in time. Oh, that looked. I thought that was going to be a full capture, to be honest, but no. Mercy just came in and changed their minds on that. Looks like they're still going to be able to capture the point, and they did on the payload section. Junkrat's trapped. Most annoying.
My ultimate is charging.
And Team Primal has 3 minutes to push this payload 2/3 the way to the end to the first checkpoint to get some more time on the clock. So I bet they could use some more time after how long it took for them to capture the first control point. This game is most certainly not over yet, however, and they are making that very good time as they push through. They're already around a little under halfway to the first control point. Keeping everybody on the cart. They want that cart pushing as fast as possible. Let's see if we can find see Reinhardt. Reinhardt's getting some work done. Both teams. Soldier 76 on the enemy team, played by Rinkus, is doing a good job of flanking. Oh, but Rakon brings his teammates back to life, but there are so many red players alive on the field right now. And, oh, excellent. Orami manages to down 2 players, but they are immediately revived by Waterboarding's Mercy. That Waterboarding's Mercy is both Mercies are doing an amazing job of getting their teammates immediately back into the fray. And Gojiro has another ult ready. Probably isn't going to use it because this is not a good position. Both teams are pretty much just locked down around the control point right now. There is 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. I'm sure that Team Primal would like to get that payload moving, because once they make it to the final point and add a couple minutes to the clock, that's it. That is all the time they're going to have. David just had a very wonderful Rose of Death plowed through 3 members of Team Primal, all of whom are respawning. Let's see if we can find someone who's not respawning. We cannot. Okay, so Team Primal is regrouping. Going to try this whole thing again. Team Amazing like Raisins. Definitely shutting down. Because see what happened there. After Reaper manages to down 3 players with his ult, the remaining players are just picked off due to strength of numbers on the side of Amazing like Raisins. But there is a slight, if you want to call it, advantage to that, in that they get to all respawn at the same time. Got a couple kills. Those kills were immediately countered by Waterboarding's Mercy, but Waterboarding's Mercy is down, and at this exact same time, Thracken's Mercy had a pretty impressive res, though, oh my. David's Reaper was doing some work. I wish I could spectate him. I can't, but there are 10 seconds left. That's one of my favorite things to do as Lucio, is when Roadhog hooks you, just air blast him backwards. It's way better than dying, which is what everyone else does. And blue team is pushing forward. They're on the payload. They have to. They need to keep this payload moving. This is the moment right here. And that was what needed to happen. Another ult by David, but this time they saw it coming. They just completely finished him. Reinhardt blocks a lot of damage, and the remaining damage was healed back by Lucio. And oh, they were doing a very good job of keeping themselves alive through those tag-teamed ults, but it was not enough because they couldn't stay on the payload. Roadhog, played by Pookie Bear's ultimate, pushed them off the point. And yes, let's see David's flower of death, or not. This is just a normal one. He did not use his ult to get player of the game. Wow. David did a very good job as Reaper that game, and I also have to highly commend both medics. A lot of revives happening on both sides. The Lucio's also doing a very good job of keeping everybody at full health. For the most part, I just saw that whenever players were fighting each other, it was 2 people at full health, and then one of them killed the other. And I can only assume that this next match is going to be King's Row, again, with the team switching. Team Primal this time is going to be defending, and Team Amazin like Raisins is going to attempt to push the payload and blow up a bunch of Omnics. I was actually surprised. I was looking up this map, I didn't know this. All of the maps in Overwatch have stories behind them as to why you're doing what you're doing, more than just pushing a payload. And in this particular map, the backstory is that that payload is a giant bomb, and so the defense captured the bomb, because I guess the plan was to push this giant bomb into a spot, which is the end of the game, where there's a bunch of Omnics that are hiding underground. So there's a bunch of Omnics hiding under the map in that sector, and so what these guys, the offensive team is basically terrorists, anti-Omnic terrorists, who are going to push. They're first going to get here, capture their bomb, and then they're going to push their bomb up to the Omnics and then blow up poor Omnic refugees. Let's see if they succeed. Here to stop them is Team Primal. Hyson has switched over to Reaper. I don't believe he was playing Reaper before, though. He actually might have been. I may have missed his switch over. Magunda and Orami staying as their tried and true Reinhardt and Widowmaker. Gajiro has switched over to Symmetra. I have a feeling he's not going to play Symmetra for the entirety of the match. Lickitung is Junkrat, and Thrakon remains as medic. And 4 seconds left on the clock. Reaper is having way too much fun with his spray. Junkrat spamming those pills, playing top quality, high level Junkrat. And Team Amazin like Raisins is pushing in there. Widowmaker and Pharah are having an awesome long-range battle, which gets rudely interrupted by a bunch of spam from the ground. Symmetra has elected to build her turret nest much closer than the enemy Symmetra, who built it all the way back inside the archway. This one is right up on the point. They're going to hit it on accident, and that means it's vulnerable to spam, but it's also a lot more powerful in itself. Reinhardt is staying in front and protecting his team from as much spam as possible, and for the most part, just like last team, they have managed to keep this point relatively locked down. Reinhardt on Reinhardt combat happening. For the most part, I'd say that Team Primal has pretty much retained control. They're electing to kind of hold in the back more and use this building for cover. Something that didn't really happen on Team Amazin like Raisins' side. Amazin like Raisins had a tendency to stand directly on the point because then they could block what's happening right now. Oh man. Thrakon released the Thraken, brought all of her teammates back. Red thought they had that point, and then they just didn't. Good stuff. And then Reaper, played by Hyson, is going in there, finishing off. Is that Zarya? Yes, David has switched to Zarya. Looks like we've got Soldier 76, Reinhardt, Mercy, Zarya. So 2 tanks, 2 offense, 1 support, 1 defense. So there's not going to be as much health happening from Team Amazin like Raisins' side. That's a very confident move on their part. Hopefully, I mean, waterboarding has been showing some serious work as a healer. Pookie Bear has switched over to McCree. But Thraken's not having that. Oh wow. Thrakon revived a bunch of teammates, but it was really to no avail because a couple of well-timed ults came in and just finished off everyone a second time, and that will be the control point captured. The Omnic destroying bomb now enters the arena, and 5 minutes and 24 seconds. That is more time than Team Primal had on their clock at the beginning. Let's see, somebody. Reinhardt is always a good person to spectate. He's always right there in the front. Team Primal holding at the same point, Amazin like Raisins did. Amazin like Raisins pushing that point. Team Primal really stuck on the payload, and Amazin like Raisins seems to be pushing ahead of the payload. And it's a lot more aggressive, and I'm really surprised that this only one healer thing is working as well as it is for Team Amazing like Raisins. You really need to deal a lot of damage because, I mean, in lieu of healing, they're just suppressing the opponents and keeping their health down, and it did not pay off there. That was almost, that might have been a full team wipe on the part of Amazing like Raisins. Team Primal is just completely in control of the payload at this point. Let's see if they're pushing anyone forward. They're all electing to stay with the control point. Even the flankers like Farah. Widowmaker kind of going off on her own thing. And meanwhile, back in the middle of the control point, Reinhardt on Reinhardt action. Oh! And waterboarding is down. They've managed to kill the medic, and as mentioned, that medic is the only source of healing until Eric has switched back to Lucio, so the one healer thing did not last particularly long. And that was a very good ult from Rinkus. She died, but she managed to get a bunch of, at least one kill. She managed to down the tank Reinhardt. Back on the control point, the payload is moving. Faria, played by Lickitung, is attempting some suppressing fire. Is there something there? Oh. I like to poke fun at Blizzard spectates. It's really it could be a lot better. There are a lot of features that I miss. Uh-oh, Genji ult effectively countered by Lucio, played by Gajiro's ult. They pretty much traded fairly on that one. I think that Team Primal lost more players than Team Amazing like Raisins, but that's okay because they're on defense. They're going to respawn and be almost immediately back in the match, and it is Team Amazing like Raisins who's going to have to spend a lot more time getting back onto the point, but spend that time they did. The payload is once again moving forward. There are 4 minutes and 40 seconds left. Very healthy amount of time. Amazing like Raisins has multiple chances and multiple waves, though they are using them up with a very good ult by Lickitung to just plow through everybody on the control point. And now there is some Farah dueling, and Lucio, played by Eric, just gave his team a boost. Widowmaker getting in there, wow. Not wasting any time. Didn't pay off. And for the most part, it would appear that Team Amazing like Raisins doing some work, downing a bunch of people. That payload, they better get in there. They better get in. Okay. Uh-oh. A lot of players on Team Primal just lost their lives, and it was enough for Team Amazing like Raisins to push the bomb all the way to the end. What a tragedy for the poor underground Omnics, but a very well-played game by Team Amazing like Raisins and Team Hyzen, or Team Primal, who includes Hyzen. Wow. There you go. Oh, that was a team wipe, wasn't it? He got all 6 of them. No wonder that was player of the game. Another very good game, both sides of King's Row. Just have to wait and see if they're going to play a third game, or on a third map. But, okay, looking at the two teams, it appears that for the most part, Team Amazing like Raisins is a lot more aggressive, and that's something that I keep noticing. Like, when they were on the payload, Team Primal was kind of... They were pushing the cart, but they were hanging back. And for the most part, what you can see is that Team Amazing Like Raisins is really pushing whatever the objective is a lot harder. And if that means that some players die, well, then their mercy just comes in and revives them all. So I think that for the most part, that was what was happening there. And it does look like we're done. Those were the 2 maps that we played for this skirmish. Very good job by both teams. Hope you enjoyed watching. And we may have more games for you later today. Until then, I'm Aabicus, signing out.